I got one more minute.
Okay,
Opinions and assholes, everybody
it's
has.
6. We're on.
Okay.
You're right there.
Let's call this meeting to order, please. Let's stand, do the pledges allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the great state of New Mexico, to be a symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Good evening, everyone. Let's see. Can I have a consideration of the agenda?
So move. I'll second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Number 2, unscheduled correspondence and public comment.
Cesar Ramos?
Good evening. My name is Cesar Ramos, and I just wanted to announce my candidacy for Otero County Sheriff to the town of Tularosa. And a little bit about myself. My name is Cesar Ramos, and I have 34 years of law enforcement experience working with the United States Navy, Department of Defense, and I just retired out of the United States Border Patrol after, excuse me, 24 years. And I'm seeking to the sheriff's office here in Otero County because I've noticed that there's a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of the citizens are unhappy with the policies coming out of that office. And so I want to use my experience to try and rectify that and provide better service for the citizens of Otero County. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, we appreciate it. We appreciate coming to the meeting and letting us know.
Jen Gruger?
I see. I have one too. I didn't wear it though.
Thank you, Mayor, trustees. I am just here to give a report, actually on behalf of Michael, the organizer for the duck race. As you know, we are caring for his mom, so we can't both be here. We all feel really good about this year's duck race. It was a great event overall. Thank you so much for participation from the community. We had 26 vendors, 53 total sponsors, both financial and in-kind donations. Local community attendance, we wish there was some way we could count. We just don't know how to do that without drones or, tickets or something, and we just don't want to do that. We are still adding up all the expenses and donations, but we are confident that we will be able to make our intended contribution to the high school community scholarship fund, as well as making a big step towards purchasing the Luminaria candles this year. We would like to give a special shout out to Angel Vorbach and his team for juggling 4 separate events that week and getting us our barricades and trash cans as well as picking up afterwards. So we're grateful for that. John Montoya and the Tularosa Volunteer Fire Department for having a presence with fire truck for display. The Tularosa Police Department, a great representation with 2 booths and a full presence and a great introduction of the new police chief. Thank you for doing that. Of course, our Village of Tularosa mayor and trustees for continued support of these types of local community events. And the residents of Tularosa for increased attendance, cooperation, support, and all the well wishes that TAC received at the event. And to all of our volunteers, there are so many hands that go into making events like this possible, so many moving parts, and there are all individuals behind each of those moving parts to make it happen. We're so lucky to have a great network of folks in this community helping this project and all of our projects along the way, including those who were recruited on the day of the event at the last minute. So we just wanted to thank you and thank Tularosa. So
Thank you, guys.
You're
You guys
welcome.
did all the work.
yeah, and t-shirts, yeah. T-shirts are still on sale at Desert Spoon. Heather Kaufman and Peter Kaufman have been such a huge contribution to our community, and they just really jumped in with both feet. So T-shirts and souvenir ducks from all 3 years are still available there, too.
Okay,
All right.
thank you, Jan.
Larry Berry.
How y'all doing today?
All right, how are you, Mr. Berry?
Fine, thanks for the couple of minutes. This is here about my Coca-Pelli, all right? I've been coming to these meetings for over 2 years. And y'all repeatedly said that the village has no say-so over that highway. And y'all have told the community that on several occasions. And then I was also here when y'all encouraged Rusty to get people to quit planting watering plants and to use more non-live items out there. All right, because of the watering situation in the state highway. All right. Now, I took that to understand that the state highway department had say-so over that. I took a picture of the Coca-Pelli, give it to Rusty, and I'm assuming everything Rusty tells me is the truth. I'm not gonna fact check him, I believe him. He gave it to the state said, fine, it was good, put it up. So I painted it, put it up. All right. Now, the rest of this is off a text message from Rusty, and I'm assuming they're also right too. On the 12th, I got a text from Rusty that says they was having people complain about the Coca-Pelli. I asked him if they were complaining about the Coca-Pelli on a cultural issue or because I painted roses all over it. I thought that might have been offensive to some culture. I don't know. Anyway, the next text I got was from him. It says, Becca says, take it down ASAP or the village would take it down for me. Now, like I say, I'm assuming that's true also. Then at 11:45, I got a text on the 13th from Rusty that said Mr. Baker from the New Mexico DOT asked us to remove it until they could do some background on it because of the fact they was getting some complaints. So I told them I'd take it down. I took it down the next morning. Now, apparently, either y'all had an unscheduled meeting and voted to tell Rebecca to me to take it down immediately.
sir.
Or somebody took it on herself to tell her, or she took it on herself to make that executive decision. Right now, I'd just like to know who made the decision for me to take it down ASAP.
Mr. Baker did.
Huh?
Mr. Baker from the,
No, sir, no, that, Mr. Baker's decision come before that, after that. This come before that. This was at 9:15. It was 11:45, Mr. Baker called and asked.
okay.
So somebody made that decision, take it down ASAP or we'll take it down for you.
When Rusty gets on up here to speak, I will explain a little bit more about it when
Okay.
Rusty comes, and I will explain that to you.
Okay, because somebody's making decisions for y'all or y'all had a meeting.
We didn't have a meeting.
Okay, and somebody's making decisions for you.
Jeff Tremblay.
Hi, Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I just wanted to give you an update on my disagreement with the ditch on the new irrigation schedule. I want to let you know that in exchange of letters, they have made it very clear that they do not believe the 49 blocks have superior water rights to the farmers. I am taking legal action against them to resolve this very important issue because I believe they're very wrong. If the superior right of the 49 blocks is not recognized, then I believe that they could continue to reduce our irrigation supplies. I would encourage the village to support us in this action any way that you feel best. With your permission, I'll leave my contact information with Ms. Bryant and my attorney's contact information. And if you could ask your attorney to call him, they can give you some options or whatever is appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Anybody else, Rebecca?
Thank you, Jeff.
Okay, Greg Gutierrez.
Hey, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening, Greg, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Thanks for having me, everybody. I just wanted to express some gratitude because the community garden is going well. And I wanted to just thank everybody for participating and being part of it and encourage, if anybody wants to volunteer, please, you're welcome. Just get a hold of me and I'll help you to learn the ropes. And that being said, I just wanted to show, this is an artichoke that I just cut out of there, and they're doing well, Dinner tonight. And then I also wanted to give the mayor a piece of lavender that I picked.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that's it. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Thanks for doing that. We appreciate it.
That's all for public comments.
That's all for public comments. Number 3, Deborah Cooksey, Mayor, is asking for approval of the appointment of Geraldine Martinez to Chief of Police at a pay rate of $37 an hour. Ms. Martinez, can you come up and tell us all about yourself? Don't be shy. Some of the people here don't know you, so we need to.
Mayor, trustees, my name is Geraldine Martinez, and I have 22 and a half years of law enforcement experience. Came into law enforcement, started off in Mescalero as a school resource officer, did that for a few years, jumped over to conservation, was there for another 2 or 3 years, and then came down here to Otero County Sheriff's Office. I stayed there for 6.5 years, became the first female sergeant there, was assigned to the Narcotics Enforcement Unit, ran the HIDA initiative there. Went back to the street, did some patrol, and then went back up to Mescalero for a year and was chief of conservation there. Had some issues with my daughter and her schooling, so I stepped down, started homeschooling my daughter, got a little bored, and was ready to go back to work, called Diana Martwick, and she put me to work the next week. So from there, working for the district attorney's office, I was assigned to Lincoln County, and I was their investigator there. I learned a lot there with the district attorney's office on what it takes to prosecute a case, not just to arrest somebody on probable cause, but to make that case stick and move forward in the courts and get convictions. And while I was there, I was asked by the newly elected Sheriff Michael Wood if I'd be his undersheriff, and that's where I was at for 4 years and 3 months. And God brought me here. So I'm ready to serve this community. This is my home. We have a house just north of town, probably been there 14 years. Grew up in Tularosa. My mom got married and I ended up graduating in Alamogordo, but my mom's always had the house there, and we're Tularosa. So it was good to be home.
So I want to tell you, she's already making arrests. She's already doing the things that we need done. Her vast knowledge of law enforcement is such a great help to us, and all the connections that she has. Like she said, drug enforcement, DAs, sheriffs, and she's never left these people in a bad way, so they're all willing to help her, and that's her. I haven't said this to her, but I will tell her, I'm a very hard person to intimidate, but your knowledge intimidates me. Because she has a lot of knowledge, guys.
I just wish I could figure out that computer system they have.
Well, you know how you do that? You just take it outside, throw it on the ground.
That's what I want. That's what I want to do. Like, what happened to fill in the blanks?
So I just want you to know that she got the job and she started running with it. And that's what we needed. That we needed somebody that was gonna run with it, and she is.
The positive part about me with Ms. Martinez here is the fact that we have an individual that's certified, and we don't have to worry about sending them to the school.
That's right.
And that's already ahead of the process that we have been going through how many years now?
Do you guys have any questions for her? All right.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Welcome to
Congratulations.
Tularosa. We're so glad she's here. Okay, Anna Vigil, let me read it. Anna Vigil, Senior Center Director, is asking for approval of resolution number 2024-2025-16, adopting the ICIP for the fiscal year. Should be, is it 2027 through?
Yeah, that's how they go.
231, yeah.
231.
Plan
Okay.
very far. We're thinking very far. So it's just that time of the year, guys. You know, infrastructure plan, make sure that our building is up to par, make sure that we're working hard and getting all that money that we deserve and that we need, and that we're setting a very high standard for our seniors. And I'm just adopting a new resolution, and we're suspending the old one, and we're starting and going on every year. That's how it goes. So that's why I'm here.
Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Roll call, Bruce,
Aye.
Garwood,
Aye.
Sines.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you
There
all
you go.
very much. Have a good evening.
You too. Number 5, Deborah Cooksey, Mayor, is asking to approve a pay raise for Angel Vorback in the amount of $1 for becoming the safety coordinator. Angel has agreed to do this. I do believe he's already got a class scheduled. I haven't talked to him yet, but he left a message on my phone. He's wanting to take this over, and we haven't had, how long's it been since we've had one? I mean, since we've really participated in it.
It's been a while. It
It's been a
stopped
while.
during COVID, and then they barely started meetings like
And
last
when you
year.
keep up with the paperwork, we get money for that.
Yes.
We get money for the safety training, so, I think Angel will do a great job. He's doing a wonderful job with as far as being the supervisor for the yard. When I don't get no calls, that means he's doing a great job. So, he's doing a really good job, so.
Well, you know, he should get it just off his work ethics because he's a very hard worker. He's really doing the job that
He
we
is.
need.
Yes.
So I make a motion.
Due to safety importance, I think it's well-deserved. Yeah, safety is the number one factor in all places of employment. We don't want people getting hurt, so I think he's doing a good job as well.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. Okay, Rebecca Bryan is asking for the approval of the award of the Bohannon Houston for the RFP 2025-1 wastewater treatment improvement for project 22-C-RS-1-1-G-11.
Okay, so we have money from CDBG, and they needed to put an RFP out to design, equip, construct improvements to the wastewater treatment plant. We put the RFP out on March 1st, 2025. We had 2 respondents, which were Bohannon, Houston, and Waterworks. After we scored both of them, Bohannon, Houston was the predominant winner.
Right.
So we are asking to award Bohannon, Houston to the project for the wastewater treatment improvements.
If there are no questions, so move.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you, guys.
Motion passed. Is Chris Rupp here? Well, hello, Chris Rupp, you sure have changed, okay? Okay. I used to call you Randy all the time, now I'm back to Rusty, okay. So Rusty, you want to talk about the planning and
Hold on,
zoning?
Rusty,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry.
swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth,
All
and
right.
nothing but the truth.
Thank you.
This is concerning a permit request, building site permit for down on 7th, I believe it's 7th Street. Randy,
701 Bosque.
701 Basque.
yeah. And Randy, I'm not sure if he started prior to us requiring permits.
He
or
did,
what.
and I got this from Chris. He did because he didn't know he had to have a permit.
Yeah,
And once he knew, he stopped.
and he,
Yeah, and he's waiting for the permit.
yeah, and so he's, the variance and everything is fine on it. As far as the construction is first rate. There's no problems with the construction. So, I recommend that we grant the building permit.
I have a question. Am I off the planning and zoning? Because I didn't know anything about that. Except maybe the prior thing. But I gave the, what do you call my new phone number?
No, you're not off of it, no. They might, I'll make sure that, but they do post, he does post the meetings, okay?
Right.
Okay, so
But he usually sends me.
maybe he's got he might, got your wrong phone number, but yeah, you're not. You're okay.
So.
Okay.
I don't have any problem with it. I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay. Yes, number 8, Mr. Berry. Larry Berry, municipal judge, is asking to approve fundings for the replacement of carpet and ceiling tiles in the courtroom office.
Just been visiting with you, and also we knew the carpet in that, in there is over 20 years old, and it's got a big rip in it right as you come in the front door. It's very dangerous, and the whole carpet in the whole office is loose, but also have the same issues over across the way in the police department. I don't think theirs is as severe as ours, but it is bad. And we got several ceiling tiles up there that we've been robbing our good ones and putting in here to keep this place looking a little bit more classy. And need to get the ceiling tiles changed out, where they've leaked through and stuff. But
And I'm thinking, Rebecca, did you say that there was,
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear back from the COG to see if I can get that with that
now,
grant that we have.
we haven't went forward and looked for an estimate.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
what
if
we
that's
need.
something we do or something y'all do.
Yeah, if you, we can have Ralph go into your office and we could have him go check at Lowe's or something and he can get some estimates for you guys.
Okay.
And then we'll
I mean,
go
I don't
from
mind
there.
doing the footwork. I just didn't know if that was something I was supposed to do or something y'all.
No, we can have Ralph do that. He usually does that for all our buildings. So we
And-
can have him
and-
go get the estimates.
and
for
what
you
we're
guys.
saying right now is, Mr. Berry, we're not turning you down.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
But we're looking at she's looking at another avenue. If that avenue goes like that, then
This is
come back.
just strictly to get it on out in the face of the public and so everybody's aware of it.
Yeah.
And if they need to take a little time to come over and walk through there, they're more
You
welcome
guys
to.
need to go visit over there. Their carpet there's a big seam where, I know it's there because I tripped on it. And I'll be the first one to tell you I'm
All right,
gonna trip on something
Like
like
I
that.
say, if y'all can get something done, if there's something I can do to assist, let me know and we'll get
Okay.
that done. All right.
I will have
She's
Ralph
gonna
do
check
that.
into it, so we're gonna table this.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then if we need to, we can put it back on.
Okay, real fine, thank you.
Sounds good.
Where's David? Guess he didn't come. Is Mr. Chavez here?
I don't see him.
I don't either. Well, we can't vote on that if he's not here.
Okay.
And that's coming in June?
Yes.
Oh.
So I think he could make the
Huh?
18th meeting. It's like 2 days before the ice
Yeah,
cream.
he's gonna have to, or he's gonna
Okay.
have, okay.
I am helping with the ice cream social, but I didn't know I was gonna have to do this, but I'll step up here and ask.
It's okay. You do want, are you his is it okay with you?
I mean, they're all doing that
Yeah, they're
together,
all
so
doing
it's
it together,
combined
yeah.
effort. If you want to speak for him,
That's fine.
He's requesting or we are requesting that we have the 3rd annual ice cream social at Veterans Park on June 20th at 5 PM. We're gonna have free ice cream and basically the music and stuff like we've had before. And it's all free. We're gonna have a few vendors and stuff there, but we'll make sure everything's cleaned up and put back to the way it was when we got there.
Okay. I just have a couple of questions before we
Okay.
go on. Are you guys gonna have a band, or are you gonna have a DJ, or?
I think he's gonna have a DJ this time.
That's,
It-
I think it's a good thing because last time there was 3 or 4 older adults that they didn't mind the music. It's just that they liked something in their genre,
I
something
understand
that, and if we get a DJ, I noticed the DJ that they used at the duck races kind of played a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And that's what they like. And the kids love to do those chicken dances and all the other dances.
I understand. I like to do them too, if I can get down that low.
I do too, but I was gonna bring that to David, that was the only complaint. I mean, everybody loved it, the kids loved it, everything, and they weren't really complaining, they just said, we'd like to hear music in our, in our
We like it
generation."
more more if this happened, yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that.
So, you're talking, they were saying, well, we like a little bit of the Western music and, and we like, a little bit of this stuff that we can dance to, the 70s, and I said, well, I didn't control it, but I'll mention it. So that's the
Appreciate
mention. That's.
I will make sure he knows about it. Thank you.
All right. You guys up for the social this year?
Yeah,
I'll motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Did I get an award for the most times at the podium or? No?
Yes, you do. Actually, I was gonna take your picture. It's an inside joke, guys. Number 10, Matthew. Tell me how you say your last name. Wojcik, okay. I don't want to mess it up.
Hey, no problem. Yeah,
Okay.
I get that a lot.
Is individuals asking for the village to resurface and maintain the tennis courts?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to kind of call your attention to the condition of the court itself, because right now it looks good when you drive by. There's new net, which is great. The fence is great and the lighting's great, but the surface of the court is kind of the most important thing. And my wife and I we used to play there a lot, but comparing it to like the courts anywhere else, it's kind of even unsafe to play here. There are a lot of cracks. You could roll an ankle. And it's really not very fun to play because the ball bounces in different directions and things like that. So anyway, in the last year or so, especially my wife has gotten more involved playing tennis in Alamogordo with the Alamogordo Tennis Association, and they have a pretty active tennis community down there. And so it's just unfortunate that we have to go out of town to do that sort of thing. I'm not sure how aware you are of all that, so I just want to bring it up and just emphasize that it is like a family-friendly activity. It's a healthy outdoor activity. It's an activity for all ages, even though I know not everyone is necessarily familiar with tennis. And we've been especially reminded of that now that we're more familiar with the Alamogordo Tennis Association. My wife recently participated in a tournament. Well, she participated in a beginner's course and then a tournament a few weeks ago, and she won a trophy. So I brought
Now you know you have to say you're a Wildcat when you win that.
Yeah. And I brought another prop. Oh yeah, this summer they're hosting a youth tennis club in Alamogordo, and I think Kayla's going to try to. She's trying to recruit some youth from Tularosa to participate in that. So anyway, point is that it would be a valuable asset to the community. I mean, it already is an asset to the community. We're just asking the village to maintain it. And
So do you have, by any chance, do you have any thoughts or any numbers of what that would run, or?
I anticipated this question. Just a couple days ago, Kayla called the Southwest representative of the U.S. Tennis Association, and he estimated for resurfacing would be about $10,000 to $15,000. Like I say, I mean, it's the village's property. I mean, they should have been maintaining it prior to me coming up here. I'm not enjoying this. But coincidentally, apparently this year, the U.S. Tennis Association has $10 million in grants for this sort of thing. My understanding is a typical year, it's like $1 million or something. So this is like the perfect year to give them a call. And we have a contact information, and they, with their grant program, they can reimburse up to 50% of the cost. So, I mean, it's still an investment, but that's a resource that's available. It sounds like this year more than any other year, so.
If she can give that information number to Rebecca, she can call it. I can't promise you anything because if you know or listen, come to our meetings, I think flushing our toilets and having a sewer, we're struggling money-wise. We always struggle money-wise, but we try to do what we can with the youth. I know Rebecca's put in for some, this year you didn't, or did you, for recreational money?
I've put in 2 the past month, but there's 3 or 4 more coming up that are in July-ish.
Okay, and that's how we'd have to address it, is by getting a grant. And at least, I mean, we,
If you
we,
could give me that information, I
Yeah.
could definitely look into
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely. We have it in an email. I'll get you.
Okay.
it's, look, it's not that we don't want to. I would love to fund everything you guys ask for. It would be my pleasure. I have to win the lottery, but you know,
Right.
it's
Well,
coming.
I mean, I'm getting a little bit of mixed messages when I see like the comprehensive plan being developed and soliciting ideas for new things and, you know, all I'm asking for is an existing thing.
Yeah, I know that. The comprehensive plan is like in a long-term
Yeah, I understand.
30-year, you know, and again, you know, it's very, our money is very tight, but we will look into getting grants and everything we can do to help you out.
All right.
So we don't really have to make a motion on this, right?
I'd like to make a comment on that issue. You know, prior, the other administrations prior to this, you know, when we get a grant or anything like recreational stuff, that stuff needs to be maintained on a yearly basis. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't play tennis, but now that we have residents that do play tennis and he has a plan of action to get more people involved in the sport, we need to, in the future, the village really needs to look hard at maintaining the things that we get funded for. Unfortunately, over the past years, it's been put to the wayside. No, we can't let that happen anymore. When we have a facility that is funded by the federal or state government or ourselves, we need to maintain those facilities. And, you know, unfortunately, the ball got dropped on the tennis court over the years. But I agree with you, Matthew, and we really need to get that resurfaced.
I do.
It's not getting funding for the tennis court. It's something that should be maintained on a yearly basis. That's just my opinion.
My question here is, Gordon, is it, and I don't know anything about that, is it a regulation tennis court right there currently?
Yes.
It is?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because they wouldn't have to do no other digging or no,
Correct. It is, the dimensions are accurate. There's just a few criteria for the grant, but it sounds like easy to meet criteria. One thing that the Tennis Association doesn't want to fund is a pickleball court. So they make sure that you're not paying to draw pickleball lines, which is a different sport. And I think part of the reason maybe Tennis Association has more grant funding this year is because pickleball is rising in popularity and it uses tennis property, and I don't think they like the turf war. So I think they're trying to, there's a national movement to make tennis more popular, I think. So.
I don't know what pickleball is, but I passed by Alamogordo and then those courts in the morning are packed.
Yeah, yeah, so it's popular. I mean, if Alamogordo can do it, it seems like, you know, I hope that someday we can do something, you know, small.
We will. I mean, we'll get it done with grants. I mean, we'll try. We'll try our best for you,
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rusty. You're up, Rusty.
Have we seen them before?
When we were having so much trouble with the medians as far as being able to water and keep everything alive, I started trying to integrate native plants, and one of the ideas that I had was to add sculptures. I got the approval for the vases. I got some vases at Torres Pottery over here on the Central, and put those with metal flowers, and I've got 2 of those in the median, and they were approved by Mr. Baker. And I was trying to solicit local artwork to put out there too, and it had to be approved by Mr. Baker before it went out there. And I told him basically the dimensions and everything of Judge Barry's Cocapelli and what it was, and truthfully, I thought as much trouble as I had talking to him about anything, I thought we were going to be shot down. But he said, that's fine. He said, just be sure, and when you get it in position, show me a picture of it again. You know, I showed him a picture of it before it was painted, and then so And I didn't realize, I've done research, but I'm still not quite sure, as far as the only thing I can think of is, yeah, I don't want to do anything to upset the, the Mescalero Apache. They're our neighbors and they're part of our village as far as I'm concerned. But, and I don't think there's any rejection of the Cocopelli by, the
Have you,
Mescalero.
have you had any phone calls?
I've had several calls. I guess they were bored. Two people from the Into the Mountain Gods board asked the lady to give me a call, and she talked to me for about 2.5 hours over it. And they said it's not really a rejection of the Cocopelli itself, but it's respect for their own traditions, and they think that should be promoted here in Tularosa instead of the Cocopelli. I apparently did. I thought I was following all the procedures that I should have followed and the steps that I should have followed them, but I apparently did not follow something in this.
So I took it upon myself to call Mr. Baker myself.
Yeah, he called me.
Okay. I asked him, Mr. Berry, this is how I asked him, and Rebecca was sitting right there. I asked him, so how does this work? Can they just put any, and I didn't tell him I'm against it. I didn't say nothing. I just said, how does it work? Does it work that you guys let them, put in what they want? And he said, no, it has to be approved by me. And Rebecca and I were looking at that same email that you got.
Yeah.
And we told him, and he said, he remembers the pot and all that, but he doesn't remember the Cocopelli. And he even asked us to send him a picture, which I did send him a picture of it. And he said, regardless how things work, that to do those kind of things, first you need approval from the village, and then you need approval from them. And he said they have a big form for you guys to fill out to do that kind of stuff because of the height of how large it is. And that's his words exactly. That's what Rebecca and I do believe. Chief, were you in there at that time when I had that conversation with Mr. Baker? Okay, all right. Yeah, I think it was just Rebecca and I. But this is what he said. And to do to change things in the median and all that, yes, the road and everything belongs to you, but DOT feels like it's a respectful thing to let their villages, know what's coming into their village, I mean, if you just had to deal with the DOT, and the DOT says you can put a statue of whatever you want to put up there, that's okay, but we still have our village people to consider,
Right.
okay? And I have nothing against Cocopellis. I have one on my house. So I'm not here saying I don't like them, I don't want them. I have nothing to do with it, okay? But I've had, that morning, I ended up having about 15 calls.
Yeah.
And some people think it's disrespectful, some people just don't like them. I can't answer that.
Yeah.
I do think that when we start putting statues up, we have to stop and think about it being a cultural thing.
Right.
Because, what works for one person doesn't work for another. We need to find something that's everybody
Everybody can
likes.
do it.
And this has nothing to do, again, with my personal feelings. Again, I have a Cocopelli on my house. I asked Rebecca to have you take it down, Mr. Berry, for the simple reason is we needed a vote on this. This was a vote that needed to be coming. Well, after I talked to Mr. Baker, he said it has to come down immediately. Okay. Yeah, he said immediately. And did he ever call, Mr. Baker ever call you?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Okay, and what did Mr. Baker tell you?
He said that he didn't remember telling me it was okay and that I need to go through the correct process, get the approval from the village first, and then submit ask for a permit with the DOT. And I guess that's
where we're at right now.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Okay.
I did admire his Judge Berry's granddaughter painted all the roses on the
It's
thing.
beautiful. I don't have, like I said, the roses are beautiful. I have nothing against it, but this is my village. I can't do what's right, what I want to do, because this is, other people have opinions, you know?
understand.
I can't, you know, if I could do what I want to do, you know, it'd be a different story, but I can't, we can't do that. The board's not here to do what we want to do. We're here to do what and we're getting backlashes from it. It's not like as if nobody said anything, I'm sure that we would all just be happy as punch because, you know, there's nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
But I can't do that when there's people calling and complaining, and I've had several people from Mescalero call me
Yeah.
and tell me that same thing. They said it's not really, it's not our culture, and you guys live right next to us. Why can't you put something up of our culture?
Right.
You know, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we just want to stay away from any kind of that stuff. I don't know, but I'm just telling you guys what's happened. This is up to the board.
I didn't mean to start a war.
You didn't start a war. You didn't start a war. You're fine. There's no war. We don't do war here, okay?
All right,
And it's up to the board what the board wants to do.
okay.
If the board approves it, then your next step is to go to the DOT and get them approved.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Board, you're on the line here.
Well, first, I'd like to find out why this particular statue, where does it depict Tularosa itself? That's,
I left too early. Yes, I'm sorry.
yeah, my question is, unfortunately, I'm with what the mayor just said. I received several phone calls on the negative side. The only positive that I've heard is a little bit I've spoken with Mr. Berry, and I'm assuming you're okay with it as well, if you're talking about it here. So to be honest with you, those are the only two positive reactions I've heard as far as Cocoa Valley. I've heard several comments against it, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that, but my question is, where does this particular statue or emblem signify, depict Tularosa? I mean, keep it simple. I mean, if you put roses, which you're trying to do right now, that we're called the City of Roses, so that goes there. If you want to associate Tularosa with the schools, put Wildcats on the median, then I can associate with that too. But that's my question, where
Well, what I did is I talked to, I tried to talk to everybody, and I said, we're interested in getting, sculptures or, you know, small sculptures that basically, from local artists that represent, you know, Tularosa. And of course, they'd have to go through the, you know, I'd have to get it okay. If you can tell me the dimensions and stuff that you want to do it, I will, you know, present that to the DOT and see if they go for it. And this was something that Judge Berry had, and I think it was well done. And as far as I should have gone and asked permission, I didn't. But I thought it's something from a local artist. It's from him, and I thought.
Christy, I don't think any of us are holding either one of you accountable because you didn't come to the village. I myself had to ask the process.
Yeah, and I still don't understand really. Well, I can kind of understand now that I've listened but I don't. Is the bad part that it doesn't represent the village, or does it? What's the downside?
Have you ever pulled up and read about a Kokopelli?
Yeah.
Okay, so you do know there's many definitions, okay?
Right.
One of the definitions that I have read is where it is for fertility, and that means agricultural and female. But there's a second thing in it, there's underneath it, it's trickery. He's known for trickery. And some Native American cultures, and even I know that Manny told me that he knows some people that did not care for it, okay? And I can't say that, I mean, I know that it's up north, you see them all the time, you know, everybody has a Kokopelli up north. I don't know all I know is what people are telling me. I can't, you know, I didn't really know all of it, but it does have a little bit of, you know, like it says, he's known for trickery and stuff like that. And I don't know, I don't know what to tell you about the complaints about it, I don't know. I know I got 6 calls that morning, and I've gotten 2 or 3 since then. You know, some people feel offensive against it. I don't know, I asked them why, and they said, we don't like it. It's just not in our, you know, that is not a representation of what we feel like Tularosa wants to be represented.
I don't know if this has anything to do with it as well, but the calls that I got from were from people from different religions. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but I was surprised. They weren't from the Catholic religion, they were from the Community Christ Church or another type of church, you know, and they felt the same reason, that that's not a statue that's used to depict what Tularosa is.
Okay.
It's the wrong, it's a Pueblo symbol.
It is, it is, it's not, it is.
It's almost like having a Mexican, saying that things from Mexico represent Spain.
Mhm.
Just to a quick contrast.
Yes,
That's, I think, probably at the heart of the issue.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, you are correct, it is.
Okay.
No, thank you. You're fine, thank you.
All right.
So, okay. So, can I get a motion? No motions? Well, it's failed to pass with no motions. Okay, is there any old business that we need to speak about?
Yes, I have some old business to speak
Okay.
about. As you guys know, we have to go through, for our TPF funding, we have to go through the SERPTO board. And it comprises of representatives from each town in District 2. So I went to a meeting this morning, and we had a very good presentation. We have a new engineer for Tularosa, and he's a Ramsey. He's Gary Ramsey's son. So, that being said, he's stepping right into the role that David Shields took. Okay, so I just wanted the public to know that this sheet right here, which you probably can't see from over there, but it has criteria for the voting system to award funding for District 2. And there's a bunch of parameters in here for like procurement, the condition, the scope, the money that we spent, the last award design, previous applications and partnerships, and is it a phased project? So we put in for First Street to get it redone completely. And the briefing I gave him went pretty well, and it was well received by the board itself. However, there's no criteria concerning safety, which that street right there is very unsafe at this time. So in further meetings, I'm going to present to the SERPTO board that we put criteria if there's potential loss of life or damage to equipment or the injuries. And I want to get that put in the SERPTO board criteria so that we might not fill all the criteria that we need at the SERPTO board to outscore other towns, because it's very, very, very competitive. I've learned that in the last 2 years of going to these SERPTO meetings. You get points for almost virtually everything you do. There's a point system for it. So in the future, I want to, Manny and I will, when we go to the SERPTO board to approve their criteria for next year, I want to put that safety issue in there so it gives towns a better chance if there's a safety issue. So I just wanted to brief the public that we are trying to get the streets done, but there's a lot of stuff we have to go through the SERPTO board and the New Mexico Department of Transportation. So it went well. Hopefully we'll get the $300,000 for the street. And initially, it was supposed to just go from Padilla Lane to the highway, but now it's going to be an inclusive project for the schools and whatnot. So we briefed them on the public buildings, the schools, The red brick building is a cultural, historical site, the park, and I also mentioned about the duck races, the fiestas and all that. That street is heavily used when we have events, so hopefully they'll give us the money this year. So I just wanted to brief that.
Anybody else have any old business? No? Any new business? Yeah, yes, Greg.
So I've been talking to some friends, and we kind of came up with a great idea to help the soil in the area and the dust and stuff. If we plant sunflowers, sunflowers can absorb heavy metals and radioactive isotopes, such as the leftovers from the Trinity site. So the more sunflowers we plant, the more we're going to heal our earth. And everybody, the cancer rates are going to go.
Starting at your house, right?
I'm going to plant some. Yeah, I've already got one kind of planted. But,
Okay, I'm just kidding.
but yeah, if anybody, wants to get involved, just contact me, or we'll work together.
Okay,
And hopefully that will make a difference for what you're trying to do too. We can add that as a village initiative.
thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
New business? I don't have anything new. Okay, guys, that's it. Meeting's adjourned.